nice to see you. Hello to teachers. So nice to see you. Good morning, friends. I know that we can't see each other right now in these moments and during this time, but when I close my eyes, I can see all of you at our circle time. And I want you to know how much I miss you, and I know that we'll be together again. But right now we have to be safe and stay at home. And I know that our learning environment and our classroom looks a little different because we're learning from home. And many of you are learning from your moms and your dads. And I know that you might be doing things a little bit differently, and those are good things. To do something different and to have a change can be good. And even though we might feel like we miss our friends in our hearts, or we might feel like things aren't like normal, I want you to know that they will go back to normal. And while we're learning together at home, we will still see each other on video and on camera. And I will do my very best to set times with your moms and your dads so that we can have our own special lesson time together. And I'm very much looking forward to that. So we've been apart for 2 weeks. And while we were apart, something very special happened. It's spring now. We moved to a new season. We moved from winter into spring. And I sent home some seeds in your packet. And we have 2 different types of seeds. One is for flowers, and the other one that I sent here is for hummingbirds. And so in your little blue container, that one is for hummingbirds. So when you go outside, you can prepare a little garden, and we'll make a video on how to do that. If you go for a nature walk, you can start seeing things outside that are happening. You might see little flower buds, you might see butterflies, you might see caterpillars. Remember we talked about our observation eyes, and when we go outside into nature, that is a time where we're quiet and we look around, and when we make a discovery, we can say, look, I found a discovery. And you can take a picture of it, you can collect it and put it in a basket if it's not alive, and you can show us your pictures and share with us your discoveries. There's going to be a lot of time for story time and a lot of time for telling others about what you discovered, and I look forward to doing that. I'm going to read to you The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. We've read this in our classroom before, but I think this is a really special time to read it again because it's spring. The Tiny Seed. It is autumn. Autumn means fall. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air, and it carries them across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? This is the tiny seed, and here are all the other seeds. One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up, up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. Can you see this seed here? Got a little too close to the sun. And here's the tiny seed following the other seeds. I wonder where they are going. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. Here's the seed on top of the mountain. And here's the tiny seed following the others. Can you see? Can you see the tiny seed, Francisco and Conrad? Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. Here it is, a tiny seed. Do you see it? Kirk, Laz. One seed drifts down to the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on the others. Here's the tiny seed. Do you see the cacti? I wonder what type of cacti this is. It doesn't look to be as big as saguaro, right, Laszlo? Finally, the wind stops and the seed falls gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Do you see the bird eating the seed? Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they are going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch. But the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. I think this is the tiny seed right here. And I think that the mouse doesn't see it. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by. The sun shines and the rain falls. The seeds grow so round and full that they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They are plants. First, they send roots down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and the air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It is a big fat weed, and it takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants, and that little plant dies. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally it too starts to grow into a plant. Do you see all the tiny plants? The warm weather also brings the children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plant as he runs along, and oh, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore. Do you see his foot to that tiny little plant? That's a big foot. I wonder what happened. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now even a flower. Let's count the leaves together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves. But what is happening? First, there are footsteps. Then a shadow looms over them. Then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. boy has picked the flower to give to his friend. Isn't that beautiful? Now it is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on, it doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it. It has many new leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Do you see the giant flower? Sage and Kelton, can you come sit down if you want to hear the story? All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Kelton, can you come sit down? Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. Kelton, can you please come sit down? It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod opens. Here's the seed pod. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away from the wind. I wonder where the seeds will go this time. I know many of you will have so many questions, and I know that there's a lot of time for exploring outside, so I can't wait to hear your stories and to see what you discover. Until the next time, bye.
Yay.